So Rockstar Games has responded on when the official release time is going to be for the GTA Trilogy, the definitive edition, when it's going to launch and unlock and be released around the world. So there was a lot of confusion to this because Rockstar was saying one thing, but then on people's Xboxes and PlayStations, it was showing that it was unlocking at another time. Well, Rockstar officially cleared things up today with a support page article that said this: Grand Theft Auto The Trilogy, the definitive edition, launch and unlock times. And the question was, when will Grand Theft Auto The Trilogy, the definitive edition, launch and unlock in my region? And they said Grand Theft Auto The Trilogy, the definitive edition, will officially launch and unlock at 10 a.m. Eastern Time in all regions and across all platforms. We are aware of an issue where current countdown timers on the PlayStation Store may be displaying an inaccurate official launch time. All right, so this told us a handful of things. Number one, the PlayStation and any other times that are showing anything other than 10 a.m. Eastern Time on November 11th are incorrect. It's going to be November 11th, 10 a.m. Eastern Time is when it's going to be released. So any other time you see, even though the timer might run out, is going to be inaccurate. So you're not going to be able to get it early. You're not going to be that one person across the entire world that gets to play it a couple of hours or minutes or days before anyone else. It's going to be launching at 10 a.m. Eastern Time on November 11th. That is official, and Rockstar sort of just clarified and confirmed that right there as well. Now, another thing this confirms, which we kind of already knew about, but there isn't going to be release times in different regions, meaning that someone in New Zealand is not going to be able to start playing technically before anyone on the East Coast of the United States. It is going to be a global launch time. So that means that it is 10 a.m. Eastern Time. So basically, you just need to do a time converter site, which I will leave a link to that in the description, and it will tell you when and what time it's going to launch. So, for example, in Mexico City, that's going to be at 9 a.m. In Calgary, Canada, that's going to be 8 a.m. In Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, it's noon. In London, in the United Kingdom, that's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. In Berlin and Germany, that's 4 o'clock, so on and so on. So I will leave a site to that in the description. But long story short, it's a global release time, 10 a.m. on Thursday, November 11th, 2021. So no one's going to be able to play it earlier. In fact, for some people in the world, you're not going to unlock it until Friday, November 12th. Like for those of you guys that might be in Japan or in Australia or possibly even New Zealand. That's just the way it works sometimes. And with these global releases, trying to navigate the different time zones, sometimes that can be a little bit tricky. But I'm just glad that Rockstar has cleared this up because now we don't have to basically guess on when the game is going to come out based off of what our PlayStation says and based off of what Rockstar says. Now, there was a handful of other things that ended up happening over the last 24 hours as Rockstar sort of prepares for the finale of this game ultimately coming out the last couple of days here. And that is Rockstar have pushed out a handful of updates. So this is according to Rockstar Games insider Tez Funds 2. He said they pushed a server-side update to the launcher yesterday to add the new screenshots. And support articles of each title system requirements on PC are live. Nothing surprising, simply the usual of what you expect of a title launching very soon. So this is the sort of stuff they did on their Rockstar Games launcher that essentially just gets the game ready for us to go into our hands. Because when you click on the game to buy it, you know, for the average person who might not be watching videos before a game comes out or might not be paying attention to the newswire, they might not see the new screenshots. And so when they go to buy the game, that might be the first time they're getting to see these new looks. And they also might be getting the first look at what is required of their system in order to play it if they are on PC. So again, this is nothing all that surprising, but it's good news, I would say, they're doing this and not doing something that implies like, uh-oh, the game isn't ready or something like that. That would just be bad news all the way around. Now, in addition to the update that Insider Tez Funds 2 just talked about, there was also a metadata update for all three of the titles, Grand Theft Auto 3, Vice City, and San Andreas. So this was done on the PC versions and sort of on the Rockstar Games website. It doesn't really reveal anything new other than Rockstar is updating the game and getting it ready for launch. And according to people that know what they're talking about, it basically means they're adding installation info for the PC versions to the launcher file. It lists the install directory, save game names, whether it supports cloud saves or not, prerequisites like having DirectX installed, etc. So that's basically what they're doing right now, and they're getting the game ready for launch. Now, the last thing I want to talk to you guys about in this video today is why the physical editions of the game are not coming out at the same time. That has a lot of people in the community upset, whether they just like having physical copies of the game, whether their internet might not be good enough to install them, and it's going to take hours on hours on hours for this to sort of happen. Because with the global release time, some people won't be able to play the moment it launches. Like, you might be in a time zone where you'll be at work when it launches, or you should be asleep or at school. So some people are getting really upset at this, and that's why they want the physical version of the game. Well, Insider Tez Funds 2 explains that they weren't even planning physical editions of the game in the first place, but they ended up changing their minds a few months ago. And he says, at least that's what I heard, that could explain the delay. So in case you guys don't know, the original rumor for the release of this was supposed to be in October. I mean, it wasn't pushed back all that far. But that might explain, A, why we're getting it in November, and B, why the physical versions aren't coming out until December 7th, nearly a month later. Because it wasn't Rockstar's original plan in the first place, but I think people ended up getting upset, so they had to go back and actually make physical versions real quick. And some people are just like collectors. They want the physical versions and the maps that come inside and to see the actual disc. So I can totally understand that. I'm glad Rockstar is doing both of them. It's just unfortunate for A, people who want that right now, and B, people who cannot play on the release time that's going to be happening in just a couple of days. But I would love to hear from you guys in those comments down below. What do you think of this news that we now have an official release time from Rockstar, and they have responded, and we're basically good to go for the next couple of days. If you guys did go on to enjoy this video, though, a like rating would, of course, be awesome. And be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new. You want to stay up to date on all the latest GTA and all the Definitive Edition videos that I'll be doing here on my channel once those games arrive. And be sure to ring that notification bell as well. Sometimes YouTube just doesn't work, and if you ring that bell, you'll always be guaranteed to be notified when new videos arrive. But of course, as always, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.